Hello, I'm Mike McFarland, the superintendent of Crowley ISD, and we have an important message for you, so I'm going to take my mask off. As many of you are aware, Crowley ISD is finalizing its plans to open school buildings in October for families that chose in-person learning. In this video today, we'll be talking about face masks. Joining us is Miss Misty Van Campen. Ms. Van Campen is our Crowley ISD Health Services Coordinator. She's also a registered nurse, and she oversees all of our health clinics on our campuses. We'll be ensuring face masks and requiring face masks, Ms. Van Campen, for students of all ages and staff. Tell us why.
Well, the simple reason is, Dr. McFarland, face masks work. We know that. We've seen that in our community. When we had our positivity rates in the 20s in July and then the face mask mandate came down, we are now in the low digits. So we know simply that face masks work.
No doubt, they definitely do, and we see people wearing them all the time. Our teachers have been wearing them, everyone's wearing them, and so we're definitely excited about that compliance. So Ms. Van Campen, what kind of masks are allowed?
Well, sir, the masks that we wore in today, those are great. There's also these cloth masks that we will be giving out to each of our students, that we've given one to each of our staff. This would be for our secondary students right here. And then we have these smaller ones for our little guys at the elementary level.
Awesome.
And then if a student, needs, something happens to their mask during the day, then we'll always have these backup masks to be able to give out.
Awesome. So basically, any student that shows up to our campus, if they don't have a mask, we'll make sure they get a mask that fits them and that is really according to the recommendations of face coverings, right?
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
Right. So talk to us about which masks are now not allowed.
Well, we have some masks that are not recommended by CDC.
Okay.
One of them is this vented mask here, and you see this a lot on Amazon or in stores. What can happen is this filter can come off and you'll have a huge hole here. Also, just the filter alone allows large particles to come into your mask, and you can become infected, or someone else can be infected by your respiratory droplets.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it's amazing that things are changing. I mean, I know because at the very beginning of the pandemic, I know the message was that any face covering is better than none. But what you're saying now is the recommendations changing recently, and so those masks are no longer recommended?
Yes, and along with those masks are these very popular gaiters.
Okay.
These kind of go around the neck like a scarf, and they'll pull up. And there was a recent study with Duke University that found that gaiters actually, if we were sitting here and I had a gaiter, the particles would reach you easier because of the gaiter and the way that it filters and breaks up the particles.
Gotcha. So that's just kind of an example of how information that we're receiving is really changing, and it's changing weekly and daily. Thank you, Misty, for just staying current and staying in the know about what is recommended. And so what I do know is that we purchased gaiters for our athletes, and we issued those gaiters to our athletes. They've been wearing those gaiters. What's going to be our response at this point?
We will have a turn-in mask, a turn-in gaiter time.
Okay.
And they can turn their gaiters in, and we will issue them a CISD mask in place of those gaiters.
Okay, that's definitely great. I knew we would do that because we definitely prioritize the safety of our students, and we're going to make decisions as we go throughout this pandemic based on the latest information we have. And so just to reiterate what you're saying, the masks that we've issued that are no longer recommended, we actually will be taking those masks up and actually giving students masks who we've already given masks. Now, students are also encouraged, if they have their own mask that's personalized, to wear their own mask.
Absolutely.
But if not, then we will have some for them, because we want our kids safe for sure at the optimum level. So let's talk about cleaning of these masks, because if kids are having to wear these masks daily and some of them are cloth masks that they can clean, how often should they clean their mask?
Well, masks should be cleaned just like we clean our clothes daily. And so there are masks like these ones are able to be just thrown in your laundry and washed with detergent, and that will kill the coronavirus. that would be in these masks.
Okay, so daily washing of our masks makes a lot of sense, really, especially if we're wearing them every day.
Absolutely.
So also I know that, as I mentioned before, when the pandemic originally started, there was this conversation about face shields and all kind of masks, face coverings, anything. But what I hear now is the recommendation is a lot more specific. And you just kind of shared with us a little bit about face coverings and how specific it is there. What about face shields? Talk to us a little bit more about face shields.
Well, face shields are a great addition to your face mask. You could wear a face shield like this for an added layer of protection. If you're in a classroom that maybe the kids are not able to mask. Also, we'll use face shields for students and for teachers that maybe during a certain period of instruction where they need to see the way that the mouth moves and things, so that students are able to get that instruction from the students, from their teachers appropriately. And so we will have face shields available, but face shields are not a replacement or for a mask.
Gotcha. So we really want teachers to wear the mask, but where kids need to see their lips and all, then we'll definitely have face shields in place.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome.
Yes, sir.
So we know that face coverings and face shields, sometimes they're a little uncomfortable. Will the face coverings be required to be worn all day long?
Well, to enter the building, or even let's start at the bus stop. When your child is at the bus stop, they need to have their mask on to be able to load into the bus.
Gotcha.
Then when they come into the school, and they'll wear their mask the entire bus ride to the school. When they come into the school, they'll continue to have their mask on. Masks will be worn in hallways and in classrooms, but there will be times throughout the day where we'll have mask breaks.
Gotcha.
Recess is one. PE could be a mask break when they're outside, engaged in activity. And also when they're in the cafeteria, we have the barriers that will be in place that will serve as a mask for that student.
Gotcha. Great, definitely great to know. What about visitors?
Visitors, all visitors, anyone that comes on the campus, a visitor, a contractor, vendor, student, teachers, anyone who comes on campus will be required to wear a face mask.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. So are there any exemptions for the face mask requirement, or what types of exemptions could possibly be allowed for face mask requirement?
There could be medical exemptions for a face mask, and what we would need for that would be a doctor's note or something that would be able to, maybe for a student that would be through a 504 plan, or for a teacher that would be through a workplace accommodations with a physician's note stating what their restrictions are and what the recommendation is. And we would make sure that then they would be provided with a face shield so that they would be able to have some sort of protection.
Yeah, that's awesome. So at least we know that they'll have some covering for sure.
Yes,
awesome.
absolutely.
So talk to me about what happens when a student or a staff forgets their mask.
Well, we do have extra masks that will be available through our pandemic response teams on each campus.
Okay.
And so most likely it'll be a mask like this, and we also have pediatric paper masks. But we do also have our cloth masks as well.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, it seems like we have thought of every scenario. We know something new may come up, but we have put some thought into it. And I know you mentioned the pandemic response team, and so that team is made up of experts on the campus who really have thought through potential challenges to safety. And so definitely glad to know that we have people on campuses that have prioritized safety during this time.
Absolutely.
So we get this order from Tarrant County for ages 10 and up. So it's required for ages 10 and up, or recommended for 10 and up to wear masks. But we know that now has been extended through November. And we definitely want to follow those guidelines. And so we're asking that all students and staff wear them because we know they work. We know it's a challenge, but we know that face masks work. How will we enforce face masks?
Well, we'll encourage students to wear a face mask. If a student comes with an inappropriate, one of the face masks that we've talked about, they'll be given a additional face mask and be encouraged to wear their face mask, and through positive reinforcement and guidelines such as that.
No doubt. And I know we'll all be so happy to see our students. So if they show up, we'll make sure they have a face covering for sure. We want you to know that we're all in this together. We know that information is changing, and as information changes, then our decisions may change. But right now, we're excited. We know that October will bring forward an outstanding opportunity for us to greet our kids, to greet our families, and we are welcoming and looking forward to welcoming you all back. Please be sure to watch other videos on our Safe Return webpage. Thanks, Nurse Misty, for all you do.